I don't know.
So I would like to welcome everyone to this weekend's teachings by Khenchen Gyaltshen Rinpoche, hosted by Drupal Rinchen Dorje Rinpoche and Chicago Ratna Sri Sangha. We are very fortunate to have such amazing...
Yeah, go ahead. You just go.
So we are very fortunate to have such amazing teachers here. Khenchen Gyaltshen Rinpoche is one of the senior-most teachers of the Drigun Kagyu lineage. The title of Khenchen is given to those who have achieved the highest levels of mastery in monastic colleges.
Go ahead.
Well, it's true. And after reaching this level, Rinpoche continued to seek out some of the greatest masters of Dharma to deepen his understanding. Some of these include Venerable Kunu Lama Rinpoche, Pachung Rinpoche, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and many others. In 1978, under the guidance of Kyunga Rinpoche, Khenchen La began his 3-year retreat. After the retreat, he continued to study with the masters. And then in 1982, he came to the United States and in 83 established a Tibetan Meditation Center in Washington, D.C., which later ended up in Frederick, Maryland. And he had quickly adapted himself to Western forms of communication and made numerous appearances on radio and television. He has lectured extensively in universities and written countless articles in newspapers. Between 1983 and 1990, he had single-handedly translated over 30 critical Drikung Kagyu practices, many of which we still use today. He has traveled across the US and established many centers of Buddhist study and practice. He has published at least 14 books, helping to spread the Dharma in the West. I could go on for hours talking about his life and activities, but as we only have him here for 2 days at our center, which he also helped to establish, I will end here and let Rinpoche do the rest of the talking. So thank you, Khenchen La, thank you, Drupal La, thank you, Ani, and thank you everyone for joining us here in person or on Zoom. We will now offer the preliminary prayers, and then we will offer the mandala. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good. Go jump to Samji. Beginning opening prayer first. Jebe da no bra jebe ge tarba na tamje je bardo jebra jeba tamje je zoje ma nang ma dan nyambe senje dan dewa dan den dunga dan Nyordo la na me ba yanda ba zo be jan Rinpoche to bra ja.
And those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly will I establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood.
Sobaji Maje Je Brado Luma Yesamo Gawala Maje Brado Luma Yesamo Gawala Deren Zonde Nima Zonda Gamje Brado Luma Yesamo Gawala.
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Sanje chonan
Sojen
shuri
Chona
chonam la
La
Chanchu
Zanjo
bardu
Bardo
dani
Dane
gyam sui
Gyamsui
chi
Nage
Andagi jin
Jinso
soi chi pe
Jibe
sonam ki
Sonam
Androla
Dola Benji
banchi
Sojen
sami
Ruparai
jupai shoi. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Nam ka na
Danyam
nyam be
Bezam
sam tam che
Jadam
dewa
Jadam
dam dewe
Deve
ju
Judan
dam dem bar
Demba
gyur
Jurji
chik
Donga Dan
dem
Donga
dan
Ge
chik ju
Judan Dewa
dewa gyur
Jurji
chik
Donga Mebe Dewa Dan Dewa Jurji Nyere Jada Nyeda Dewe Danyom Nebra Juroji.
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Bome Awon Je Nabra Daba Wanje Seje Sai On Bandarege Awo Che Jare Mujege Yunzo Uzo Homo Re Jabo Re Ra Shara Lubabo Loi Zambo Le Noi Balanje Chai Dame Nye Shado Le Da Le Ba Loro Ngaya Da Ngaya Shin Nubdo Yonde Da Lam Jodom Chando Dame Nye Da Dame Nye Da Rinpoche Rewo Basam Je Shin Donje Ye Pa Mame Baye Lodo Kolo Rinpoche Nobo Rinpoche 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 Longbo Rinpoche Dajo Rinpoche Mabe Rinpoche Tere Jembe Pomba Gegba Ma Chewa Ma Lu Ma Gara Ma Mendo Ma Dogbe Ma Nasa Ma Deja Ma Nye Ma Dawa Rinpoche Du Chole Nabra Jan Zenje So Lada Meye Benjo Buzo So Mazawa Meba Shingama Nabra Daba Din Shoujo De Somna Shube Lama Edama Sanje Chansen Bawa Sodan Jeba Namla Bewa Jewo Tujan Drove Dendo Jesu Jene Jinje Labdo Zo Jebeje Choshe Mendo Da Rera Linje Nyende Jembam Sanje Jela Mede Bewa Yen Droga Namda Jendo Jubra Ijo Wada Chuji Shabada Jezo Yara Kwajanzo Gyawa Junsa Dage Jezaba Tamjezo Janjo Chirengo Sangbo Dimbewe Janjo Lamla Barje Menjo Dosmo Jave Gomba Doba Siba Mende Shawa Mene Namba Nyambe Dona Dora Jo Samba Loye Jeda Jeda Wa Jejo Demo Dem Sheje Goro Godo
Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Excuse me. Today, here now, in Chicago, Ranashiri Dharma Center, as our resident teacher, Khenchen Rinpoche requested me some time ago to go through the Four Dharmas of Gampopa. Now that even though I have gone through this topic last for a few years, and because of that, the people took interest on this, and they found it's helpful to study, practice Dharma teachings, and they also, because of that, then they have compiled those descriptions. So they made a book, see this book, the Four Dharmas of the Gampopa here. So it has very detail about those teachings. Of course, these 4 lines, the Four Dharmas of Gampopa, is just 4 lines, but it is very comprehensive. It includes all the Buddha's teachings into that. So because of that, it becomes a complete path, just from where we start towards the enlightenment, Buddhahood. So Gampopa, was such a great teacher. Actually, we should understand that he was responsible to all the Buddha's teachings brought into one individual practitioner's life without any contradiction. In the way back, there was some confusion when you study Vajrayana. Seems like there's no place for Vinaya practice. When you practice Vinaya, then there's like no place for Vajrayana. But Gampopa was the one who brought together to study practice without any contradiction. Not only that, they all come together, they support each other. Without the other, one cannot kind of function. For what it means, our confusion in the mind we have, which are the root cause of this samsara or suffering in the world. So to uproot this confusion, so there's the complete Buddha's teaching. We need that. So now, most practitioners, they have been studying, practicing for many years. And we all know, basically, there may be some few new practitioners, but Dharma practice, what Buddha taught, is to uproot the cause of the suffering. That everybody go through that. What that means is, you see, there are physical suffering outside, from outside, in the world, see, everybody keeps busy how to solve the problem, suffering, and talk about, like say, climate change, all this, the environment, how to make solution, and world leaders that come together, make agreement, what to do, what not to do, all these things. But they are just partial, you see. It's very clear, it's partial. Because the mind, which usually I put so much emphasis on that, which Buddha did. The mind is, everybody has that. Whether you agree or not agree, whether you know or don't know, but everybody knows there's a mind. I think what I want, what I don't want, I feel good, I don't feel good. No, this talking about the mind. Sometimes we say the brain is the mind, but it's just brain is the way the mind functions, not the mind itself. The mind, I usually would say is the brain is the office for the mind. The mind goes in the brain, then do things a lot. But brain is the flesh. It's just a piece of flesh, not so much, But mind, as you see, incomprehensible. So much one after another. Just one thought, anger. There's so many degrees of anger. From outrage, anger, to the just feeling of some disliking. There's so many layers of the anger, so many layers of the desire, attachment. And you see, some compassion as well. There's so many layers of compassion, loving kindness, both sides, negative side, positive side, So the mind is consciousness. For us as a beginner, ordinary being, having not enough wisdom to see that, for us it becomes ambiguous, unclear. We don't know what it does. We don't look inside, we just look outside. The outer objects, what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, touch, these 5 sensorial objects, we just follow on that. Not what mind itself is. Because, as I mentioned, it's very ambiguous. We don't know where it is. We don't know how to fix it because there's no color, no shape, no size. You cannot hold on in your hand. But you see, at the same time, mind is the one, it's the basis of all this, you see. There are so many layers, as I mentioned, Just for one example, First, when you meet a friend, or just a person, you become friend, and you see that person nothing but good. All are good. Whatever the person said, whatever the person does. So, then you just make a quotation. This person said this, all these good things. Then later, sometime you change the mind, and that person becomes so bad. You're totally different, It's because of your mental perception. The person is the same person. The first one you met, first become best friend, to become the worst enemy, the same person. But your mental perception changed all this. So it's mind, But we don't allow to see that. We don't allow, about that changing nature, because we are grasping our habit. We have a habit, the habitual tendency, just kind of say, totally rely on that, stay on that. And then, difficult to change our mind. So Dharma is not a religion. It's the description of the reality nature of the samsara and the nirvana. What about the samsara? Samsara means the vicious cycle of the suffering. The cause of suffering, the vicious suffering of this, the experience we go through. That's a samsara. Unending, that's a cycle. There's the vicious suffering nature of the samsara, these cycles continuously, ups and downs. And nirvana is that kind of vicious cycle of the causality is non-existence. When that is non-existent, when that is disappear, dissolve, it's called nirvana. So these both are the mental manifestations, which manifest from delusion, and some that other manifest from wisdom, understanding, reality, nature. So first we have to understand that, just get that understanding. That's what first Buddha taught. As usually I say this, Buddha's teaching is taught over 26,000 2600,000 years. Newton, or 26,000 years ago, taught that causality nature of the suffering and how to cease to exist the nature of the samsara, taught. And then now it's 21st century. How much things have changed, way of thinking, way of life, culture, belief systems, especially through the science, how much things have changed. Those times, the other worlds are completely unknown. West, East, we all this, But now, because of the science and technologies, the world is interacting so fast. The news, something happened other side of the world, comes here in 1 second. You can see that. See. Now, through this, you can see, through the Buddha's wisdom, the teachings, how it explains. Everywhere we go, different culture, different belief system, different way of lifestyle. But still we all desire for peace and happiness. Everybody desire to free from suffering. That's the reality, nature of whole phenomena. Look at this. First, just first meditate on this. Reflect on this. I like, I dislike. Or wonderful person, bad person. Both are the desire for peace and happiness. Both are desire to free from suffering. We share the same, what we want, what we don't want. Within having said that, then say, on the basis of that, the causes and conditions are so vast, so profound. The causes of the peace and happiness, the causes of the suffering are so vast. It's because it's a manifestation from the mind. Mind is so, as mentioned, so profound, so vast. From that vastness, profundity, whether enlightened or unenlightened, from both sides, create the cause. From unenlightened state, we create so much cause of suffering. Briefly, there are 6 realms. 6 realms is not outside somewhere. Somebody told me, what Buddhists believe about the hell realm? I said, it's not a Buddhist belief, it's just you can see in the life. There are some individuals who go through such a terrible life. It's like hell realm, So you see, there's so many individuals, even one person, in one life for individual, every day we go through so many layers. In the morning you feel good, relax. Then late morning you don't feel good. And afternoon you get worse. In the evening maybe it's okay. So in even one day you go through the 6 realms, you see. And you try to solve that problem so much. So what should I do, You just think yourself. When you have no kind of ability to handle that, you ask others, can you help me? Can you do this for me? Can you this? That's why I say the system, like I say, the law system in the world is changing also according to the needs of the people. You know, they keep changing, amend, keep changing, amended, amend. So you see, right from beginning, there was no law. You see, there's no constitution, but then made it later. It's required to organize, you see. So we need this. Depending on the different individuals' ability. Those who are highly educated, expert, system everywhere, and makes such a wonderful constitution. And those are a little bit deluded mind, and they make the law, constitution according to their ability. So you see, look at this. But basically, want to bring more peace and happiness. Some they do for others' benefit. Some they do for their own benefit. I can control all this. I want to control this. That's why I want to make this law, this constitution. Basically, whether precisely or not precisely, you see, creating some cause to make a better place for oneself, for others, Since the mind is unenlightened, then you see, there's always a problem. Then you have to change amendment, Always have to change this now is outdated, this is outdated, this is dated, You need to change. Whereas Buddha taught is, avoid all the non-virtuous thoughts. And practice all the virtuous thoughts. There's no need to change anything still. The four famous quotation. Avoid all the unwholesome thoughts and deeds. And engage in all the wholesome thoughts and deeds. And entirely or thoroughly tame your mind. There's nothing to change. See, look at all in the mind, all these non-virtuous thoughts, ignorance, grasping to the ego, relation with that, then anger, attachment, hatred, pride, jealousy, so forth, all these things to be avoided. There's nothing to change that. Now there's no need to say, now we come to the point, anger is okay, now you can practice that. There's nothing to change in that. And then the practice of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. Practice those. And Buddha taught that. There's nothing to change about that. Now we don't need to say this. Now there's no way say, now from now we don't need compassion. It's okay without compassion. Yes, that's how first you have to understand Buddha's teaching. It's not a religion. It's not that Buddha created it. Rather, what world functions. how suffering is functioning in the samsara. What are the cause of those? And how the world functions within peace and happiness. And what the cause of those. Those two, causality. In one way, it's very easy. But because our mind is so complex, we make things very complex, difficult. Especially it's difficult to change our habit. We are so habituated in the samsara form because we are being so long. So Dharma, we need Dharma everywhere, all over the world. Now everything is, everything is interdependent, very clear. Nothing stands independently in our life. There's also depends on the mental capacity. Some can understand some kind of growth about that, not so detailed. Not to build in the house, you need roof, you need door, you need floor, you need wall, like these things. No, it's interdependent, clear. No, it's not a Buddhist belief. It's reality in nature, In the mind as well. When there comes anger, for example, anger, depend your own mind. Depend on the conditions. When you make the conditions, the anger manifests. When there's no condition to anger, there's no anger to manifest. So interdependent, you see. Depending rising. Everything rising within in the causes and conditions, as you see. So then you see more detail. When your mind becomes more known, there you see the three trainings, lavasum, 3 trainings. The training of the Shila, the training of the Samadhi, and the training of the Prajna. See, very important, you see. Training of the Shila means maintaining the discipline, avoiding all the non-virtuous thoughts and action, and avoiding and maintaining the virtuous thoughts and discipline itself, thoughts and practice. That's a Shila. In Tibetan called Tsul Tim. Tsul Tim, this word is a very precise meaning. Tsul Shindu Sungwe Tim. Tsul is accordingly. It's not just a Buddha, I like this or don't like this. Buddha sees what is the cause of this suffering. What's the cause of the happiness, peace? When you touch the fire, it's hot. When you touch the ice, it's cold. So if you need a little, in the cold weather, you need a hot, you touch the fire, I need fire. In the hot weather, so I need ice. So, like that, when you need peace and happiness, so Buddha said, do this. This is for the peace and happiness. When you don't want suffering, so avoid this cause of suffering. This is the cause of suffering. So it's not something Buddha created. Rather, Buddha explained how it functions. This is the very first, very important point. I think this is the more important point than we study Mahamudra or Dzogchen or those high views. Because sometimes you teach so much high Mahamudra, Dzogchen, we kind of say, Don't pay attention to karma. So because in Gyaltshen, in the Muhammad, there's no virtue, non-virtue. You do what you like. You know, what we have in our mind, habit, or the samsaric habit manifest. And we are intended. We like to do things what we like, samsaric life, and more chaos. And then it becomes a cult, you know. So first, Buddha, you know, taught to free from the cult, you know. So these are the, I'm teaching, that's why I say, the Four Noble Truth, you see, the Four Noble Truth, you should know the suffering. You should know, avoid the cause of suffering. First, very important subject. This goes all the way to Buddhahood. There's no some way, sometime in the road say, no, you don't care about non-virtue, you know. You have to purify all the non-virtue all the way to Buddhahood. There's no saying, now it's okay, non-virtue is allowed, you know. If any teacher who teaches that is a confused teacher, you know. And anybody, Dharma disciples who are practicing that, they are confused in their practice. So non-virtue is non-virtue all the way right from the beginning to the Buddhahood, because you have to achieve the perfection to become Buddha. So these causalities are such a very important point that what Buddha taught at the beginning. That's why it's still relevant. This can be shared to anybody, everywhere. Doesn't matter what you believe in a religion, no? Or don't believe religion. You know, in the world you can see, understandable. If there's no any religion, non-believers, still they don't want suffering, and they know the cause of suffering. And if you explain this is the cause of suffering, they say, oh, it makes sense. No? If you try to teach how you believe, then they say, oh, we don't believe that, you know. This is not we believe, you know. We believe this way, did that way. So the belief system, that's the individual's choice. But this is what Buddha taught, is a universal reality, nature. It's called basic disposition. Make sense? Basic disposition. That we should understand how everything functions within the basic disposition. So that's our understanding, and that's how we practice, you see. The practice is very important. So like the bodhicitta, some people think it's a Buddhist, you know, it's a Buddhist thing. We don't need bodhicitta. No, everybody needs bodhicitta. It's the cause. When they don't have that, they don't have the cause for the enlightenment. So if they want to achieve enlightenment, they need bodhicitta. It's the cause, you know. When you like a delicious meal, you have to make the delicious meal, and you need that cause for that. We want delicious meal, but we don't believe that, then how you can get it, you know? So this is the what's called legitimate reality causes conditions. So taking refuge is also what is just turning into changing into belief system. It's a method, way, opening the door to free from samsara towards the enlightenment. That's taking refuge, you know? So all Buddha's teachings, what the taught, all the practices that Buddha taught, is the method, it's a cause to free from samsara, to free from suffering. to eliminate the cause of suffering. First, we practitioners should understand this. And then, when you're interested, you should appreciate yourself. I'm so fortunate. I have the precious human life. And study, practice these things. I'm not brainwashed in the Buddhist. Rather, I dispel my confusion. Okay, my confusion, my stupidity is alleviated, purified. It becomes a cause to study, practice the Dharma teachings. I think this is a very important point. So Buddha's teaching, as I mentioned, this is all, there are a lot of things in the Buddhist also, there are a lot of things, culture-related things, those are culture. Like way of using symbols, beating the drums and all these things, these are culture. They are not Buddhist. Anybody can beat the drum, It's not a Buddhist thing. But you say Buddhist culture, you drum, you beat the drum, you play the cymbal, all these things. Buddha's teaching is to look at the mind, purify the cause of suffering, manifest the cause for peace and happiness. That's why you see, look at the Milarepa's life, how simple it was. He didn't have any monasteries. He didn't have statues also. He didn't have monk dance, All these complicated rituals he didn't have. All this melodious, those things. These are culture. They are not Buddhist. Buddhist is virtue and non-virtue, avoiding the non-virtue and adopting the virtue. So that I usually say these things just to repeat, because we need a lot of reminding. Our habits are very difficult to get rid of. Our own habit is so stubborn, isn't it? It's so stubborn. Even you yourself find frustrated. I cannot get rid of my own habit. I know it's not right, but what should I do? It's killing me, But you just understand everything is impermanent. It's a matter of time. If I make effort, I can change it. Everything is impermanent. And their nature is emptiness. I can realize, So build this courage. That's what's called precious human life we have. That's why, it's called Buddha nature, the seed of the enlightenment. Even the Bible says, says the kingdom of the God is within you. The kingdom of the God means where the kingdom, there's the God. So it's within you, she said, So you have every ability, opportunity to do things all right. So this way, said, I have the seed of the enlightenment. Sometimes it's called basic goodness, effulgence. The word effulgence, total clarity, nature, always. That is within us. So look at that. And because of this, we desire peace and happiness. We desire to free from suffering. Reflect on this, you see. There's no one in the world who desires suffering. There's no one in the world who does not desire peace and happiness. It's a universal, innate nature that manifests from the basic goodness, the seed of the light, the seed of the enlightenment that within us. That since that's our reality, nature, so nobody likes the suffering. Everybody appreciates peace and happiness, physically, mentally. Now, having said that, it doesn't, the happiness doesn't come just by wishing. I want all the peace and happiness. I want to know that, I don't want suffering. Please, help me. Please give me blessing. All these things doesn't happen. You pray to Dharma. Dharma, please give me peace and happiness. Please, 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 Dharma, please give me. And I'm suffering terribly, So still you are suffering. So Buddha, please give me Buddha. I'm suffering terribly. So please give me blessing. I want peace and happiness. You pray, chant mantra. Then after some time, you're so disappointed. Then you say, they are not helping me. My Lama told me that I paid this debt, but it doesn't help me. What should I do now? So that shows we have to work on the causality. Okay, that's the point. Recently, a few days and a few weeks in China, the government really wanted zero tolerance of the COVID. You see, they want to make a history, really. If we make that zero tolerance of the COVID, we can make a history in the world. China did this happens. But they don't know underneath the karma. You see? So now, very difficult suffering. They, in the mind, they really want peace, happiness. They want to make people really kind of protected, They're doing their best, but they don't have the enlightened mind to see the causality, and now it becomes worse. Look at it now also, Same thing, we're chanting mantra. You say this mantra, you'll get help. All we don't. We said all these mantras and still suffering. What? We are not doing enough for the cause. As the Buddha's teaching is the causality. Four Noble Truth is causality. You chant the mantras with the pure mind. Okay. But don't expect that deity will do to you something. That's what Buddha said, you see. Buddha said, Tunam Tikpa Chui magicians, sages, the Buddhas, then don't wash the sin of the sentient beings by water. The suffering of the sentient beings cannot dispel by the hand of the Buddhas. And also, Buddha cannot give his realization to sentient beings. You take it. This is my realization. You take it. And then how Buddha benefits, helps. Buddha teaches the truth, the reality, nature. And that sentient beings has to follow. See, this is a very important point we need these days, especially in the educated now, because the whole 21st century education is so appreciated. No? In the old time, people are not educated, then you can believe anything. It's okay to tell, you pray this through the rock. This rock is very precious, you just, and people do prostration to the rocks, But nowadays, if you said that prostration to the rock, they say, this is what is stupid, So you need this kind of wisdom that what Buddha taught. That's what Buddha said. 4 reliances. You know the 4 reliances? Rely to the Dharma teachings, not the person. The teachers, sometimes the teacher is very charismatic. Then people follow the teacher, not the Dharma teachings. Buddha said, rely, the Sutra Buddha said, rely on the Dharma teachings, not the person. Rely to the meaning, not the word. Sometimes the words are so beautiful, very poetic. Rely on the meaning, not the word. To the meaning. And rely on the wisdom, not the consciousness. Rely on the ultimate, not relative. So look at these 4 reliances Buddha taught. That's why you see, when you say prayers for the offering, how you say? Domba Lame Sangye Rinpoche. You remember? Domba Lame Sangye Rinpoche. Offering. Say Domba Lame Sangye Rinpoche. Gyoba Lame Tamju Rinpoche. Demba Lame Kindu Rinpoche. You said this, isn't it? So Domba Lame, what means Domba? The teacher, unsurpassed, the Buddha, the unsurpassed teacher. See, Buddha is not mentioned. Buddha is the unsurpassed protector. Buddha said the unsurpassed teacher who taught the ultimate meaning, you see. Then second, Gyoba Lame Tamje Rinpoche. Gyoba, protector. And Dharma is unsurpassed protector. So Dharma is the protector that we study, we practice. Bodhicitta is Dharma that we have to practice, that will protect us. Loving kindness, compassion, these are the Dharma that we have to study, practice ourselves. They will protect us from suffering. That's why Buddha is the ultimate Buddha, Dharmakaya. Dharmakaya is the Buddha, is the Dharma, is the Sangha, all together, Dharmakaya. That when you practice that, you become Buddha. You become the embodiment of Dharma. You are totally protected from all the delusions. See? So you have to understand this, reflect on this, meditate. Oh, that makes sense. That's the scientific, how everything functions in the reality nature. In the Uttara Tantra said also, Tampe Tundun Trai, Yamne Sanje Nyakshik this. Tuba Cheki Kujinchi, Soja de Tatuchas. And the ultimate refuge, for the sentient being is the sage. Buddha is the ultimate refuge. How? Because Buddha is the Buddha, but Buddha is the Dharma. Tuba Cheki Kujinchi. Buddha is the nature of the Dharmakaya. Dharmakaya, we meditate ourselves in our mind. Mahamudra is the Dharma, is the Buddha. That when you do this practice, then you are receiving all the blessings. See, as soon as when your mind is relieved from the confusion, by studying, practicing these Dharma teachings, you feel comfortable. Oh, that makes this meditation real. I feel so good about it. Then you are getting the blessings. See, that's the blessing. That blessing is you have to sit, meditate by yourself, bring the Dharma within in your mind. And you digest yourself. And so okay, that's what Buddha taught. I was confused. I didn't know enough, I thought that this Buddha will do something to me. I pray, then Buddha will do something for me. But I was confused, Many years confused, Now finally I changed my mind. So that's how Buddha taught about these things. We should see if it makes sense or not. Not so easy, The mind is so, because we always, in our world, we always expect somebody will help me to protect me from this, from the suffering, from all this treacherous part, Buddha explained. Then, since it is interdependent, we need our own part, strong confidence. It's called unflinching devotion. We need such an unflinching devotion. That unflinching devotion, when we have that makes our mind so strong towards the Dharma. That breaks through our habit. See, because as I mentioned, our habit is so stubborn. It's our ingrained habit of samsara. It's so kind of so deeply rooted, difficult to get out of that. So we need unflinching devotion to the Dharma study, practice. That's what comes refuge. Take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Unwavering. And the Desha the Dixerway. The Desha the Dixerway. I asked Rinpoche if it is okay, I talk like this. He said, it's your choice. make sense? If it doesn't make sense, I should not talk too much. I share these stories sometimes. I have done in the past as well, but I repeat. Sometimes it makes alive the teachings. Even though it happened during the time of Buddha, still it's very, applicable. We can apply. It's fresh. Buddha helps from very, from the, from very simple things. People who are suffering individual life, and then to the communities, all the big communities, scholars, great teachers who are sophisticated, Buddha can handle all these different layers of the practitioners. There are some teachers who are very philosophically and in the experience as well, gifted, come to Buddha and discussions Buddha can handle. And then those who are so desperate, who are just feel nothing can help. This story, which I told all the time, a mother who died, her kids, her child died. And she loved her child so much, her baby, but died. And she could not accept and tolerate. That time, there are many other teachers more famous than Buddha. So she was expecting to get help. She went to those teachers. Of course, nobody could help. And finally, she's also asking now, is there anybody who can help me? Now, somebody said, these days there's a new teacher who is called Buddha. Many people go to see him and get help. Maybe you go there to see him. So then she went with her baby carrying the dead body. And then she arrived in the front of Buddha. And then she was crying and repeated the same, her sadness. This is the only child I have died few days ago. I cannot accept this. Can you help me? And because since I cannot accept this, for days I could not sleep, even eating food. I'm terribly suffering. If I cannot get over this suffering, then says, what should I do? I need to bring the life of the child. So Buddha saw that the child is died now. What we can do? But at this moment, the mother needs the help badly. She's the one who's suffering, not the child. How I can help her? So when you look at the miracle powers, you know, then Buddha said, oh, okay, I will bring your child's life back. Just snap finger, say, here your child is, you know. Said, yes, you know. Then the mother is so happy. Oh, thank you so much. Now my suffering is gone. But that's very temporary. Temporary relief. So Buddha is such a great wisdom and skilled and compassion. Buddha said, look, go to here, small village, there are few houses. Bring a handful of grain or sesame seed like that. Where the house, nobody died. Then maybe we can do something. So the mother was so excited. She thought there must be a house. Nobody died, you know. You know, at that time, people are born in their own house and they die in the house. You know? There's no outside hospitals like this. So then she went house to house, asking the same questions. But she haven't found any house that nobody died. Everyone expresses their grievance. Their father died, their mother died, their child died, their brother died, their sister died, so forth, you know. And they're saying all the same thing, you know, how sad they are. So then when she could not find any house that is nobody died, house there's nobody died, then she just said, how the heaviness of the death burden is completely relief, alleviated. Oh, it's not only me I'm suffering, but everyone is suffering. Oh. So the whole world is suffering, you know. So then she came back to Buddha and said, I haven't found any house. So Buddha said, you see, that's the reality nature. Even your child's life bring back, but still want to die. You know? So they're all, you can see they're suffering, everyone. So most important is for you should accept. If you know how to accept this, which is no choice, your suffering will be much less. If you don't accept this, your suffering will be so much, but there's no benefit. So then Buddha taught about the impermanence, not the suffering of birth, suffering of aging, sickness, death, we all go through this. Buddha said that some people die when they're old. Some people die even before they get sick. Some people die after sick. Some people die very young, like your child. But everybody go through this. What we can do is practice the Dharma. That's the reality nature. As long as we are born, one day we'll die, old or young. But we have to know how to die. Then she was so happy, you know. Buddha taught her how to accept that what she was going through. The skill, you see. So Buddha taught the method, you see. Buddha is not as a creator to relieve her suffering. No. I will take out all your suffering out. Don't worry about it, But I teach you this, but you have to practice. And then she did, and she got all the benefit. That's how simple, step by step like this. Oh, Dharma practice is like that. We have in our mind this kind of different types of suffering. When you look outside, some people look very impressive. They have a very good life. They are so famous, You see, looks very impressive. Oh, I wish I'm there in life. But when you are in their life, you have the same suffering, So from that day, she really started her life for the better. More peace, more happiness, and accept whatever is happening. Then slowly practicing non-attachment, non-aggression, free from these mental afflictions. So this is a Dharma study, practice how it follows, The karma, as mentioned, is such a powerful. In the old time, we used to say, Buddhists believe karma, isn't it? Something like we don't believe karma. So when you don't believe karma, there's no karma. If you believe karma, there's a karma. In such case, if there's the case, better not believe karma, why you make problem yourself, believing karma, worry about karma, But since that's not the case, karma is the universal. We function within the causality, in the world of the causality. So we have every responsibility to take care of our karma. So how Buddha talked, like very simple thing, step by step, like those things. So those great teachers who are highly enlightened, they only describe about the causality. Milarepa also said, the details, the fine details of the causalities are more difficult to understand than the emptiness, he said. Emptiness, through the investigation, you can understand, it's empty, Say this book, this is not, you go through the page, 1 page, 2 page, and then 1 page, you just investigate all the dust particles, and you find this book is empty. You see as something to exist, but in reality is empty. And you say, oh yeah, it does. But when you come to the causality, very difficult. That in regard to that, there's one story, At the time of Buddha, there was a man who was 100 years old. Since he's 100 years old, he's incapable working in the house. So all the house members, they're just looking down on him. No, he cannot do anything. He's useless. No, he just better die, these things. So he was so depressed. It's called Kimda Beijing, you know. Then he just, you know, finding the news. Then he heard if one becomes a monk, it's appreciated, respected. So then he went to where there's a Buddha, you know, it's Rajgir. When he went to the temple, that moment Buddha was visiting some other place. And then he heard Buddha is not here. Then he requested, can I see someone who's senior, you know, monk here after Buddha? Then they said, the senior monk is Shariputra. Shariputra is a senior monk, highly respected. So then he went to see the Shariputra, and he expressed how he was going through. And I really want to become a monk, so if you give me permission, I want to become monk. And Shariputra looked at him, no, such an old person, how he can study Dharma, how he can practice Dharma. He said, you are outdated. So then he was just in the temple. He was at the temple, in the doorstep. He was crying, you know. He said, no, I can't go back to the house. Now I'm dying here. So after a while, Buddha came, and Buddha came inside, looking at him. Buddha said, what's happening with you? He expressed all what happened. And I requested Shariputra, he did not accept. Now I'm dying here, you know. Then Buddha said, oh, here's a karma to achieve Arhat, you know. Then Buddha called Mongoliana, said, you come here, train him, you know. And Mongoliana thought, oh, no, I cannot deny what Buddha requested, you know. But how this can, you know, achieve Arhat, you know. So Mongolian took him to his apartment, and then he initiated to become a monk and give those instructions. And during the prayers, he was with the novice. He was novice monk, you know. So there's all novice monks are young, you know. They are all young, you know. He's the only one who's 100 years old, you know. So all the young ones, they treated him so badly, you know. This is an old man, he cannot do anything. They kicked him back and forth, you know. Then he was suffering terribly there. Now he thought, oh, I cannot stay at the house because all my family thought I'm outdated. In the house, no use. Now here in the monastery, I'm also now treated me so badly, I better die, you know. But then Mongoliana understood that, and then took him different places where there's different sufferings. It's a long story. It is a long story. Anyway, just to make it short. Then there are many stories, step by step, one by one. At the last, there's in the ocean, a huge crocodile who died many years ago, and all the flesh, skins are washed by the water. Only bones are left, huge bone. So then he was very curious, asked Mongoliana, what is this about? And then Mongoliana said, this was one of your previous life. You were born as a crocodile, and told all these stories, you know. Then he was really frightened. If I die now, it doesn't help. It doesn't solve the problem. If I'm born again as a crocodile, what should I do? So, Master, please give me the instruction more. I want to free from samsara. He got really strong renunciation. And then Goyana gave the instruction and he meditated there and achieved arhat. So Buddha saw that he has the karma to achieve arhat, but not Shariputra. So that's what it means, emptiness. You can understand emptiness a little bit, not maybe thoroughly, but you can understand what it means. The detailed karmas is so precise and difficult to understand by everybody. That's how Milarepa said, karma is not that easy to understand. But that he achieved the arhat because of he has the condition of the cause to achieve arhat. Secondly, he received the instruction from the right teacher. Through these causes condition, he achieved the arhats. Likewise, you have read the Milarepa's life story. When Milarepa was very old, attained Buddhahood, all his senior disciples gathered there, and they thought, Milarepa must be reincarnation of some Vajradhara Bodhisattvas, They asked, can you tell us which Buddhas or Bodhisattvas reincarnation you are? How ordinary people cannot endure as you did. Milarepa said, to see me as a Vajradhara is good, you are fine. But for the Dharma is the wrong view. Said, when you see the samsara, as I saw, everybody has a chance to achieve enlightenment because Dharma has every capacity, ability to purify all our mental obscurations. So that you don't have that kind of strong renunciation, seeing the samsara as I saw. Because we're still in the samsara, we like to enjoy samsara, looking places to enjoyment in the samsara. This is not so good place. Maybe I go out the place, maybe there's a happier place. There's maybe a better place. We're looking for a better place. In the samsara, there's no better place. So what Milarepa is saying is Dharma has every ability to prosecute all the obscurations, purify all mental afflictions, but we don't have enough that kind of determination, power to follow the Dharma. Still we negotiate, Dharma practice. It is okay, if it is okay, if I practice this much. Like say 100,000 frustrations, 100,000 frustrations is too much. If it is okay, if I practice 10,000 frustration, it's okay, we try to negotiate, So these are some I thought to share, even though everybody knows this, everybody knows this, but these are some detail just reminding, refreshing on Dharma. And the Dharma, the karma is individual, is individual's responsibilities. So that's why Buddha said, I show you the path, but liberation is in your hand. I show you the liberation. No, I show you. Yeah, I show you the liberation. But that liberation depends on your hand. So like that, Now, the Four Dharmas of Gampopa, as you know, in this book, everyone has this book. Yeah. Here said, Dharma becomes the path, or the mind follows the Dharma. Dharma becomes the Dharma. So here, first, Dharma becomes the Dharma, and the Dharma becomes the path. Then the path dispels confusion, or the confusion is dispelled from the path. Then confusion known as wisdom. These four, you see, verses. And if you say prayers about on this, then we say, grant me your magnificent blessings so that my mind and the mind of all sentient beings may follow the Dharma. Grant me your magnificent blessings so that Dharma may follow along the path. Grant me your magnificent blessings so that the confusion may be dispelled from the path. Grant me your magnificent blessings so that so that confusion may dawn as wisdom. It's very simple, you see. So now we have to understand when he said Dharma becomes the path, or mind follows the Dharma. So that my mind and the mind of all sentient beings follow the Dharma. So first we should see what it means not Dharma follows the path. Or no, not mind follows the Dharma. Not Dharma follows the Dharma. If we practice Dharma, we study. Those are not Buddhists, those who don't know any religion, of course, we cannot expect anything. Even those who believe Dharma, those who are practitioners of the Dharma, how we not following the Dharma, or how we not, the Dharma becomes the path, or why we not following the Dharma. This is, you see, nowadays it's really becoming everywhere. This life is so important. See, everyone is focused in this life success, in your business, in your politics, in your work, in your career. I am suffering so much. I want to free from suffering in this life. I want to, because if I become famous, maybe my suffering will go away. If I become rich, maybe my suffering will go away. Always focus for this life. Even Dharma practitioners, we do. We say, Dharma protectors, please, Dharma protector, help me to, I can have some good business. Then we asked some monks, I will make offerings, so you pray me really, so that my business become a really good business. Or I'm sick, so I give this so I may free from this sickness. So all our attentions for this life. So we misuse Dharma. We do a lot of that. Even in the monastery, you go there, those people who are going business for month long, 2 months, they go to the Dharmapala, the Dharma Protector's chapel, go there, make some offerings. Tomorrow I'm going to business this place, so you must pray enough so that my business would be very successful, Looks like Dharma practice, but it's not Dharma practice. So we're using the Dharma for this life success because we're attached to this life. See, we have no renunciation. In that, regarding to that, they are called 8 worldly concerns, you know that? Gain, lose, become what's called famous, infamous, comfort, discomfort, praise and blame. These are the 8 worldly concerns. You see this, look at these 8 concerns. It's not only for Buddhists, you see, anybody in the world. We have aversion, the 4, not gain, not becoming famous, discomfort, and blame. Nobody likes these 4. And we're all interested in this 4. Gain, become famous, comfort in the life, and praise. And because of this, we're focusing in this, how to avoid the 4 aversion. But we have the aversion, the 4. And 4, what we're interested for. And then if you practice Dharma, you do this. These things, without Dharma, you can become famous, you see. Without Dharma, you become rich. See? Without Dharma, you can achieve comfort. Without Dharma, you can praise. So we misuse Dharma for this reason. Now look at this, you see. Because suffering, you see, we're facing. It's not just today, not tomorrow. We have been going through this for a long time in the past. And we'll go through this as long as we're in the samsara. Doesn't matter where you're born, which place, rich or poor. So this is how we first look at this. What means Dharma, not become Dharma? Dharma means, say in Tibetan culture, she means to change the mind. Or to change mind means to correct your confusion. As long as we attach to this life, Dharma didn't work to purify the mind. Instead, Dharma becomes the cause to make more confusion. more attached to samsara. No? That's what's called misuse Dharma. Sometimes we also do that, Oh, today I have very, very important interview, So please say prayers for me to have my interview. So if my interviews is done well, I will get really good job, I will support you. Then the chaplain, whatever the monks or lamas or teacher say prayers. Oh no, he made such kind of amount of offerings. I must make some prayers, so that he will have a very successful interview, Then you say, whatever you're beating the drum or whatever you're doing, the both, the sponsor and the practitioner, both involves the samsara. See. This is not so much related, but it's an interesting story, When Milarepa was traveling and he came to there's a small monastery. There are few monks there. One monk has a cattle. So he want to kill the cattle next day, sell the meat to all, So that night the monk didn't get good sleep. He was just counting. Yeah, I take care. I kill this cattle, and then I will sell this. Oh, he was counting, So Milarepa totally understood all what he was thinking about, So next day he got up early in the morning. He chanted some prayers, And then he came out. And Milarepa was sleeping next to his door, with the ragged cloth, the white curtain, So Milarepa put the cloth on his head, and he kicked Milarepa, What kind of practitioner you are? You should get up earlier and then practice Dharma. How you this kind of practitioner I haven't seen in my life. Then Milarepa slowly gets up. Oh, usually I don't sleep like this way. Last night I was counting all those things. So I didn't get sleep well. So this morning I got sleep, So we're counting so much, I will do this, I will do that, this, so to this life, to enrich this life, to make the life rich. Teaching Dharma, practicing Dharma, all this to become famous, and then there's writing many books, and then and you become famous, and then you sell the books, and you become rich, So these things we have to be very cautious about these things. Practice, Dharma, how Dharma becomes the Dharma. First, look at this. Now, what happens when Dharma is not become Dharma? Just to look to yourself, meditate, reflect. If I'm practicing Dharma according to Dharma or not, So this makes clear, isn't it? You see, this is first very important. They are simple, but sometimes we don't care. We lost our mindfulness on this. That's called First, that's why I say, right at the beginning, when we say these prayers, opening prayers, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and so I want to become Buddha. I want to practice Dharma to achieve Buddhahood. I want to help all sentient beings cultivate bodhicitta. Not for me, not for this life, but for the end of the samsara. No, cultivation of Dharma, how it has become so important. Then when you could do this, you see, your mind becomes more relaxed, more often open. Otherwise, we are what's called confined. You know the word confined. We are confined in this life, our mind, trapped in this life. Which is everybody's interest. Even animals, they do that, you know. Squirrels, they're digging, they're collecting a lot of things they try to, you know, store. But then in the winter past, they don't know where they're kept. They're all their stores, you know. We're all the same, you know, the animals, this all. Such as, what's the difference? So I don't waste my life. I don't waste my opportunity. This is how to free from the samsara. As mentioned, how the mind is so profound, so truly. If we are just concentrating in this life, we make our mind very small. Very small mind. Then our ego is so big. Ego is very sensitive. And then, in reality, what it means, we suffer. Instead of to free from samsara, Dharma becomes the path to trap more in the samsara. So in that we say we don't need Dharma. No, only for this life, we don't need Dharma. There's enough in the samsara. So I say, reflect. So how everything is so impermanent. So to free from this kind of our confusion, need to reflect on the impermanence. Impermanence is such a kind of wisdom to see everything's I just, you know, like a bubble in the water. There's nothing to attach. So release the attachment of this life. Doesn't mean don't care. Actually, we care more. We care more when you practice the impermanence. We are more kind of way how to free from suffering. So look at this, you know, like this now that the season, you look at the season. In the summer, there's rainfalls, beautiful flowers, you know, all are green, you know, fresh. Then in the fall, this all flowers fades. In the winter, becomes a dry, cold. So it keeps changing, you see. Oh, this is life. When I was young, I'm capable, you know, doing this. Now I'm getting old. I cannot see enough. I cannot hear enough. My digestion is losing power. You know? know, there's pain everywhere. See, so this is now, look at to ourselves, look at outside, look both, you know, outside and both. There's no benefit attached to this life. It doesn't mean don't eat or wear clothes, you know, but too much attention for this life. You see, in the world, there people are so much suffering, attached only to this life. You know, if we let go of all these things, much happier. You know, you appreciate, you rejoice what you have. There's, you know, the old contentment. Nagarjuna, in Tibet it's called choshe. And Nagarjuna, in the writing to his friend, you know, the Nagarjuna's letter, they have mentioned, you know. This, you know, the best wealth is when you know how to content. That is Buddha said. When you know how to content, if you don't bear the wealth, but you are so rich, no? So I'm so happy. You see, this morning we got such an abundant breakfast. If you content with that, I'm so fortunate to have got such a wonderful breakfast. So you're feeling such a great joy, you know, this. If you're looking still, can I have a little better than this, you know? How I can have a better breakfast this, then you're still suffering, you know? So like that, if you got any amount of breakfast, lunch, just this example, when you appreciate, rejoice, and contentment. Contentment doesn't mean you don't work hard. Actually, you work harder, better, more. But in the mind, you content yourself, and you are so rich, peaceful, you know. And that's the meaning of the life. This morning he mentioned, I studied with Khenchen Rinpoche, you know. Khenchen Rinpoche, he possesses nothing. He looks very fragile, you know. They have like nothing, you know. When he goes, he has only small bag, you know. So that some Westerner came to see him, and he was kind of well known, you know. He was well known, and they came. And they received some blessings from him. And they asked, please let us know if you need anything. He said, I don't need anything. I have everything, he said. So he is full of contentment. He has no monastery. He has no entourage, you know. And he was so happy because he's practicing bodhicitta. That's how precious Dharma is. You know? How Dharma makes you happy, that's what it's about. When you know how to enjoy your Dharma practice, then you are getting the Dharma. You know, Well, you are suffering while you are practicing Dharma. You are not practicing Dharma. So this is what first we're just discussing about how Dharma becomes the Dharma, or how not Dharma becomes the Dharma. You understand there's some distinctions? These are very important. First, this, because otherwise, Gampopa said, if you don't practice Dharma properly, Dharma can become a cause to born lower realms. Dharma, you misuse the Dharma just for this life's attachment, and develop your ego. People who go to retreat, it's not easy, Oh, I want to go to 3-year retreat. So then if I go to 3-year retreat, I may become very famous, and I become a good teacher. Then I can teach, then I collect a lot of wealth, If you go to the retreat, also it can have those thoughts, Or I go to Buddhist college, Buddhist study there, and I study Buddhist philosophy teachers, and I become a good teacher, then I become a good scholar, and I can collect a lot of salaries, So these are all a wrong view, a wrong motivation, becomes a cause of suffering. They can become a cause to reborn in the lower realms, Then there's a competition, you see. You abuse each other, So it's kind of sad thing, So that's why I said, receiving Dharma, receiving the blessing to Dharma means purify all your mental afflictions. Purify the attachment, purify the aversion, purify our jealous. When you could do this, they become the Dharma practice. And it's the blessing that you are receiving from Buddha, from your teacher. This we can say, I'm receiving the blessings. So first, we need that kind of proper motivation. Okay. That's not good. That's sure. So this morning, what I went through, just reflect on those, reflect on this. What means Dharma becomes the Dharma, okay? These are very important. And I reflected about the causality karma, how karma is, how karma plays, in the world, in our life. It's not a belief system, it's the reality, how everything functions with the karma. So we all have to pay attention to karma. Everyone. There's no Buddha's, we should say, blessing or Buddha's power to transcend your karma. Okay? In front of Buddha, Buddha's gifted disciple dies with such a tragedy, Then all the monks, they're calling, oh, he was such a great practitioner. How he can deserve this kind of, in front of Buddha. Buddha don't say, doesn't say, I will take care of him. Buddha say, because his karma. He explains. So like these things, you see, that's how teachers, the Dharma practitioner, that's how Dharma can grow in the world. You see, real Dharma can maintain in the world. Dharma can serve people, for peace and happiness, really. So these things just, now reflect on this. So first, please take a deep breath, inhale fully. And exhale all our stress. Inhale fully. And exhale all our delusions. Once more, please inhale fully all the Buddha's wisdom, compassion, and purifies all our delusion, confusion, and exhale. And then rejoice first. I'm so fortunate to reflect on this. I have received these teachings many times, many times, but still I now know, I understand a little deeper. I'm so grateful. So our wisdom is deepening, see, getting deeper, more understanding. So all the benefits we received from this session, then we dedicate for enlightenment of the sentient beings. 17? So, all right. Yes.
Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, yogins, yogis, and dakinis dwelling in the 10 directions, please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, a rebirth as a Shavaka or Pratyekya Buddha. May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading Maras, and the hordes of demons experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of mind as such, and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Khenpo.